Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to a Heart of the Swarm beta cast. It is going to be between the red Protoss player in the top right, BabyKnight, who's up against the blue Zerg in the lower left, and well, it is Glon. So, ZVP, it should be great, and I think this is the first time I've cast on this map, so let's just give it a quick little rundown. Of course, you've got a nice narrow ramp into your main, so that's fairly normal. We've also got this natural. Now, the interesting thing about this natural is there's two entrances to it. There's this back way in, and also the main front. So, let's talk a little bit about the back way in first. You come down. You then get these destructible rocks, which is the quick entrance in the back, so you have to take those down first. Or, there is an attack path that isn't blocked by rocks, but it's a lot further around. So, that's something which can be utilized against these two players. We'll wait and see what happens. And yeah, all in all, we should see some fantastic gameplay from these two. Glon should be going for a 14 or 15 pull, because that's generally just what you're going to be doing against Protoss players. Nothing's changing Heart of the Swarm. For Protoss, they've got a couple more options. They're able to be slightly more aggressive if you get the Mothership core out, due to the fact straight away you can recall should things not go your way, which is great news. This is on balance patch 10 as opposed to 11, so the Mothership core does still have the detection as opposed to the time warp abilities. So we'll wait and see how that influences things. Now, of course, for Glon, he's getting up his spawning pool. Out of that, Swarm Hosts are a very good option against Protoss players, as well as Roach Hydra Viper is something that I've been seeing and also playing with myself, and that is exceptionally strong against normal Protoss compositions. So these are all the different options available to Glon, and it's something that BabyKnight is going to have to find a way to effectively deal with. So that is, of course, assuming we get that far and we don't just have a situation where it's a 4-gate or into, say, mass Oracle Rush, for example, which, again, that can happen as well. And on a map such as this, there's lots of dead space behind the main base, so Oracles are an option. They do great amounts of damage. Void Rays are an option as well. Sky Toss is exceptionally strong in Heart of the Swarm at the moment, so could be an option. Now, looking down, obviously for Glon, we've got the natural hatchery on its way. The first gas also coming up. This is the first variation we're really seeing from standard Wings of Liberty timing, and that's in response to the fact that BabyKnight is going for this 1-gate expansion. It's unlikely you get a forge fast expansion on this map, and that is purely due to this back entrance. You can't wall off, so as a result, there's not going to be a forge fast expand, and therefore you need to get this gas up slightly sooner, because you're going to be staying on 2 bases as opposed to grabbing your 3rd base super quick. So that's the thought process behind this, and why there hasn't been any rush to scout, and also the fact that we've got this Zealot out. Now, this Mothership core actually coming out surprisingly early. You see a lot of people actually leave it slightly later until 16 workers on minerals and basically complete saturation, but BabyKnight getting it out fairly soon, and even chrono boosting it out as well. So clearly taking it along with this Zealot Stalker, just to put on a little bit of pressure, pull back if needed, also giving a little bit of extra firepower to this poking and harassment. So this could potentially be very, very useful for BabyKnight. Glon, though, he's got the 4 Zerglings on their way out. He has just started speed. He's got 6 more Zerglings coming as well now. So I'm not sure if he scouted anything in particular. I don't think he has to react to that. But of course he knows this natural isn't down, so knows that some aggression is probably going to be en route. So in comes this Stalker, in comes the Zealot. The Mothership core still a little way back. We do have the Zerglings trying to get round, trying to get the surround on the Zealot. Do manage to get that down. Stalker is also taking quite a lot of damage here. The Stalker is going to get trapped most likely. The Mothership core now coming in, picks off the Queen, and of course the Mothership core is an air unit, so only the Queen can deal with it. That means you can kill essentially all of these Zerglings should they want to, and put on a lot of pain and a lot of hurt. In comes the second Queen though, trying to come and deal with this. It's going to be a straight up engagement from the Mothership core, picking up as many drones as possible. It's likely then to just try and pull back, although the second Queen is going to get taken out. We see here the Mothership core is taking damage, but with the Zealot and the Stalker there, the second Queen is going to go down, and of course this now gives BabyKnight free reign until any more Queens are produced. So already we're seeing a very, very different early game style compared to what we're used to in Wings of Liberty. The Zealot and Stalker will get cleaned out, but as we can see, the 3rd Queen only just popping now, so the Mothership core forced to retreat. I'm surprised BabyKnight not using recall in order to get the Stalker out there safely, but instead he secured up his natural base, and he did some okay damage. 4 workers killed. In terms of the loss tab, Glon losing slightly more than BabyKnight has at that stage. Looking at the worker count as well, BabyKnight 9 workers ahead. However, is that going to last? It's going to be pretty tough because, as we can see, an awful lot of Zerglings on their way through at the moment. A force field goes down. We do have the wall up here with the pylons, but this counter aggression is going to be pretty damn tough because Sentry has warped in, but there is purely the one gateway there, which means this many Zerglings are going to be exceptionally difficult for BabyKnight to deal with. He's going to be in a tough position. The Mothership Core has now got back. It's got the energy for the Photon Overcharge if this Nexus is able to finish, but by the looks of things, it's not going to be able to get that down. The cancel force already. Glon putting on so much aggression here with these Zerglings. 2 more gateways do now finish up, which means that with a warp in of some Zealots, it should be okay to deal with. There's also a lot of gas, so more sentries are possible. And all in all, I'd be fairly comfortable if I was in BabyKnight positions now because, well, I've got these sentries out, I've got the additional warp gates out, so my unit production is going to start going up. Using the pylon blocks as well, just so you've only got the one place you need to force field, trying to get that wall off as best he can, but again, it's an awkward position to wall off in. Behind, of course, this, we do have Glon getting up his evolution chamber. Still, the Zerglings relentlessly putting on pressure, using the Mothership Core, trying to make it last. Once the Nexus is up, it'll be a lot easier because you can Photon Overcharge that Nexus in order to make it become a giant cannon, basically. So once that happens, obviously Glon's aggression will be minimized. The Zergling count is getting lower. Importantly, though, for BabyKnight, he is still up there with the worker count. He's not dropping too far behind. He can transfer those probes pretty soon. And Glon, he's got to really think about what's his transition out of this. He needs to be preparing to take his 3rd base. He does have his lair up, and he also is now getting his 4th gas. So going to have a lot of tech capabilities. And as a result from that, could be trying to put on a bit of pressure. Could maybe get down Swarm Host to try and attack this kind of area because there's no Colossi out, which means that dealing with those Locusts will be very difficult indeed. The Mothership Core still happy moving, just keeping a good eye out on where are those Zerglings. These rocks getting taken down, of course it's a rock tower, not destructible rocks, so this will complete the wall off here with those rocks, allowing the lovely BabyKnight, or preventing BabyKnight from being able to push in to take out this 3rd base. So that in itself is a good position for Glon to be in, getting down those additional spine crawlers, making sure he's safe from this next wave of aggression. And it's not much aggression, as you can see. There's only 3 gates out here. The double upgrades getting chrono boosted, so again, this is exceptionally different to what we're seeing in Winds of Liberty. The Zerglings coming up, but the sentries should be able to react fairly quickly. BabyKnight not even needing to waste a force field there in order to defend them. More spine crawlers are on their way. The Spire is the tech of choice for Glon, as we can see, but that's going to take an awfully long time to come out. And for the meantime, BabyKnight is going to be knocking on the front door. Can Glon hold? He's getting a lot more Zerglings out. Force field's going down, preventing the Speedlings from being able to come and protect these spine crawlers. The force field on the ramp to the main is going to completely deny a lot of reinforcements, and we're seeing now what incredible aggression is capable. And should the Zergling count get too high, of course, the warp back and mass recall, as we're seeing there, can be utilized. So BabyKnight able to be so aggressive, force so many Zerglings only just to run away and be in a defensive spot. As well, BabyKnight also saw that Spire, so straight away he knows what he's going to be up against soon. He's getting his Twilight Council down. This Mothership Core is able to do nice little bits of damage. It does 8 damage per hit with just under 1 shot a second, so that is, it's not huge damage, but it's definitely better than nothing. And as we can see, the utility it provides for poking and prodding is absolutely massive. However, Glon is now getting up 9 Mutalisks. That's going to allow him to start becoming a lot more aggressive. There's only 3 Stalkers out for BabyKnight at the moment. He's got no static defense in the form of photon cannons at either of his bases. There is this one here which defends quite a lot of the mineral line, but the main is definitely going to take some damage. As we're seeing the Mutas on their way across, the Mothership Core is going to spot the Mutalisks, so straight away we should see some units warped in order to defend. There we go, BabyKnight doing everything precisely as he should be. Speedlings still threatening. We've got the wall off completing down here. That makes things a lot more comfortable for BabyKnight, to be honest, because he's going to be in a situation where he can easily hold off the front of his base with force fields, etc. But in come the Mutas, a good number of cannons coming down though. The Stalkers are getting engaged head on for the moment. One goes down, a second getting very low on health, but the cannons are rapidly finishing up. But as we can see, quite a few probes are going to go down before any of those cannons finish, and all the Mutas get away safely. BabyKnight also pulling back a lot of his units, allowing these Speedlings to come straight in. Going to pick off that pylon very quickly. The money force fields out of BabyKnight there will save that pylon to power another day. So great moves already there. Mutas poking, prodding, harassing, picking off things here and there. So as we're seeing already, Heart of the Swarm is definitely shaping up in a lot of matchups to be less of Death Ball v Death Ball and much more about poking, prodding, constant aggression, constant action, which makes it so much more fun to watch. The Mutas yet again coming through here, but a lot of Stalkers ready to defend it, so the Mutas are not going to have too much fun there, and they get a volley off without taking any damage, which is always going to be good. Any damage you can do for nothing is always going to be fun. We're seeing a Hallucinated Phoenix getting some great scouting off. Remember, of course, in Heart of the Swarm, Hallucination does not require an upgrade, and as a result you get free scouting as soon as you get sentries, which is great news. Looking here, the Templar Archives coming down, because of course if you know Mutas are out, aside from Phoenix, the best way to deal with them is with Psionic Storm, so of course the High Templar required for that. We've got the Stalkers still just doing a good job defending the main base. The army for BabyKnight slowly starting to grow. The supply advantage is there for Glon, who's still committing to getting out more Mutas. He's already up at 18, so that's a good size of Muta to get some really good harassment, and to be honest, BabyKnight has to be careful that it doesn't get out of control. We do have the +1 air attack on its way as well now, plus the Roach Run coming down, so with the fact the Mutas heal so quickly as well, it means that this Muta harassment becomes very strong. As long as you don't lose the Mutalisks, they very quickly heal up and you're insanely quickly able to deal a lot of damage and go for engagements like this just single proton cannon sitting there. The Mutas could fly straight in and pick that off without much hassle, because there isn't anything supporting, and that's precisely what we're going to be seeing Glon do at the moment. He's pushing in, he's taking down the Warp Gate actually, and is going to get that. He's going to get the Photon Cannon as well before the Stalkers even get there, and now of course these Mutas run back, and even though one is very low on health, look at how quickly that starts regenerating. In 2 minutes it's back to complete health from near death, so that is very strong indeed. In comes some Zerglings, not going to be able to do too much because there are some Archons there, and Archons of course as well very good at dealing with Mutalisks. I didn't mention that when I said about the High Templar. Storm is better if you're in some situations, because you can then deal with this Zergling heavy style nicely as well. Archons are more of a long-term choice of things. So as we've got Zergling streaming through, the Mutas coming in from the side. Glon is trying to hold as best he can. Some good force was out of BabyKnight though. That is causing him some problems. Of course, the Mutas got to be incredibly careful not to stack up, because that's when the Archons splash to air. Deals so much damage. In they come yet again, the Archon there, but no magic boxing going on for Glon at the moment. That is allowing BabyKnight to do so much damage. He's blinking round the back as well, getting the Stalkers to safety, while still able to pick off a couple more Mutalisks. +2 air weapons is half done. We also have the +1 missile attack on its way down for Glon. That's compared to the 2-2 upgrade for BabyKnight, so definite upgrade advantage for BabyKnight, who's got some good blink micro coming on here. And straight away, this road to Mutaforce is starting to get to the mass needed to push this back, and we're seeing BabyKnight trying to retreat a little bit, trying to still do some good damage. And Glon there, he's doing a bit of chat, mind games, but BabyKnight, he's microing as best he can. Unfortunately though, he's not got enough Stalkers to be able to deal with this force, and the Muta plus Roach force from Glon is able to push him back very strongly indeed. The third base has been up uncontested for Glon for an incredibly long period of time already. That isn't too much fun for him. BabyKnight, this natural base takes so long to get down, it becomes very difficult. So the early aggression that didn't really do as much worker damage as it could have done, and as a result, it's a bit annoying. And BabyKnight, this is apparently not on the EU server, so maybe a bit of lag going on there for BabyKnight. But as we've got an attempt coming down for this third Nexus, the third expansion for BabyKnight, Glon moving forward with the Roaches. Glon isn't actually teching that much. He's getting the Infestation Pit, which is insanely late if we look at the timings here. 18 minutes and the Infestation Pit isn't finished, which in a Wings of Liberty game in the same matchup, we'd be expecting to have Broodlords on the field right now, as well as Colossi, as well as, of course, multiple other things, Mothership finishing up, but obviously Heart of the Swarm is a lot more about the harassment, and it's a lot more engaging to watch. These Mutas apparently suiciding a little bit, because the Roaches coming in the front, doing some nice damage. Great blink up there by BabyKnight to try and keep it out. The Roaches being forced to pull back due to the Photon Overcharge, and for those of you who don't know, Photon Overcharge does great damage. I can't see because it's doing I can't remember off the top of my head, but it does a lot of damage very quickly indeed. This third base forced to cancel out BabyKnight. Glon now definitely incredibly far ahead. He's got so much more supply than BabyKnight. He's getting his hive down as well now. That's going to give him the option to start bringing out Vipers and of course Ultralisks and the Broodlords should he want to. So lots of different options at tier 3 now, as opposed to just Ultra Broodlord. That makes things fun. And Glon is, looking very comfortable at the moment. The Archons are nowhere to be seen. There's no Archons on the field. Of course, Storm hasn't been researched either, which could have been a nice addition to extra DPS. It's not seen that much, in this matchup anymore, unfortunately, but I still think Storm can be very effective against Zerg players as long as you get some good hits off, especially against large roach forces like this, when you don't have the Colossus, because without Colossi on the field, it's going to become very difficult to deal with just a maxed out roach army. But here we go, we've got a great surround here for Glon. BabyKnight trying to blink out the way, but the sentries are all certainly going to die here. The Stalkers may be able to get away onto the high ground, but it seems particularly unlikely that BabyKnight will come back from this. He's 100 supply behind. Still so many roaches. The third base yet again forced to cancel from BabyKnight. Meanwhile, the fourth on its way out for Glon, so he's about to become 2 bases ahead. 10 Corruptors on their way out. The Greater Spire is indeed also morphing out now, so that means that Broodlords will be coming, and there is indeed the GG out of BabyKnight, knowing he's not going to be able to hold much longer. And that just really shows that, considering that was a 21-minute game, there wasn't that much teching. It was all about the harassment, the aggression, which makes it so much more fun to watch, in my opinion. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy, make sure you, of course, subscribe, leave a cool comment, and like the video. I'll catch you all tomorrow for yet another new cast. Goodbye for now.